So I'm Shay Good, and I completed Rachel Gregory's 21-day keto challenge last month. And to say that it was probably one of the best decisions that I'd made in terms of from a nutrition standpoint in a long time would be an understatement for sure. I had thought to myself, at least, like, man, I wish that I just had a little bit more information on keto and kind of like the hows and the whys, and just that more of that scientific behind the scenes. I've always been a relatively, I shouldn't say always, but at least over the last 5 years or so, I've been a relatively healthy person. I know how to eat well, I know how to work out, but it was really more so I had tried a ton of diets or ways of eating, and nothing quite made me feel like it was something that I can continue with throughout my life. Anyway, I had listened on a podcast. I had heard Rachel speak about specifically how the ketogenic diet impacted CrossFitters. I'm a coach at a CrossFit gym. I do CrossFit type workouts, very high intensity workouts, and so for me, I'd always heard that keto just wasn't the diet for anyone who was, doing CrossFit or lifting a lot of weights. So when I heard this on the podcast that I was listening to, I was just shocked and immediately checked her out, found her 21-day challenge, and it was all kind of history from there. The thing that I loved about the challenge is that from day one, first of all, the fact that they start every Monday made me feel as though, like, great, as soon as I thought about it, I could start the challenge right away. So I think I had found her program on like a Saturday, started that following Monday, and woke up to an email, a day one email, just about, the education behind keto. And for me, again, like being someone who's already pretty much in tune with my body and pretty much in tune with kind of how I respond to things, like I wanted to be able to scientifically prove or scientifically have reason as to why keto would be a good diet for me as a pretty intense athlete to get behind. So from day one, she provided a list of like the do's and the don'ts in terms of, food groups to eat. I'd already had a little bit of knowledge about keto, so I knew that, it was high fat, it was low carb, moderate protein. But getting the list and the menu that she provided was hands down probably one of the most helpful tools that I had received from, a challenge or a guide, because it was so simple. Like all of her recipes that she had on there, it was so easy for me to prep. I'm really into, meal prepping, and everything that she had thrown together for her menu was just so easy to grab from my local grocery store, throw together within less than an hour, and then I was ready to eat it, that night and then going forward the rest of the week. So I really, really loved that piece of it. In terms of kind of successes and things that I had noticed as I was going through it and post, for me, I wasn't really in on the challenge for a weight loss goal or anything like that. What I really wanted to do was prove that my power output in terms of, me lifting weights wouldn't be stunted from eating keto or not eating carbs or eating moderate protein, being on a normal, like a traditional CrossFit diet, which is paleo. You're eating a lot of carbs, you're eating a lot of protein, and you're kind of being taught that without carbs, without protein, like you will not be able to build muscle and sustain that muscle and build strength. So I really wanted to go myself off of kind of just putting a squash to that. And so throughout the challenge, I'd say after that first week of, well, not even week, it was probably like 3 days of my body getting adjusted to, not eating all of those carbs and not eating all of that protein, I started to notice a drastic difference in, my brain function. I started to take, brain octane oil and used coconut oil in my cooking, and and I just noticed that I just had a little bit more of an alertness to my day. I also noticed at the time, actually, I had just started a new squat cycle, where I was really focusing on building my strength over the course. I want to say I probably had started 4 weeks prior to doing the 21-day challenge. So I had, gosh, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I had started a squat cycle a little bit prior to that. And I noticed that as soon as I started to eat a higher fat diet, that I was able to, sink a little lower into my squats. I was able to rack a little bit more weight onto my barbell. Like, it was insane just how much that change in my diet, like just a small tweak, changed the way that, or the power output that I had. And it was then that I knew that, like, this was something that I was going to be able to use, like, from here on out. Plus, I think the really exciting thing was, like, I could now eat more fats. And, like, I'm sorry, but for me, I would much rather, if I'm at a brunch or something like that, I would much rather not have to forego on the cheese and the avocado, and give up the bread. Like, I'm okay with giving up the bread. I am so sorry, I'm so, okay with that. So, but yeah, so I really did enjoy, the education that she had provided. Her daily emails were beyond. I still even go back to them today and kind of like reread and re-refresh. She had videos. Oh, another thing that I really, really, really loved was her food alternatives list. So like on her website, she has a slew of products that are great alternatives for, some of your favorite foods. Like, for example, there are these, I'm blanking on the name of the brand, but they're essentially like a chip alternative, and they're made of cheese. They're high in protein, and they're great. She has these these Ultima electrolyte packets that she, kind of suggested that I use either pre or post as my workout versus using, a pre or post workout, like in that traditional sense, because typically those are filled with nothing but sugar and just crap. So, but either way, I just think that, like, if you are on the kind of like on the fence, like, should I do it? Should I not? Like, I promise you, your money will be worth it. I just really enjoyed working with Rachel. I also enjoyed the fact that, like, when I was working with Rachel, I didn't feel like I was working with this person who, I don't know, was just like an automated email. Like, sometimes you'll sign up for a program or a challenge, and it's like, you could tell this is the email that everybody's getting. With Rachel, I was able to, like, connect with her via Instagram, and she got back to me. Even her, us being 3 hours apart, I'm in New York, she's in California, she would respond to me, like, almost right away, or I definitely wasn't waiting, 24 or 48 hours to hear her response. And to me, that just shows a person that, like, truly cares about, the success that you are having within their program, and really shows that they care. So yes, yes, I would 100% recommend Rachel's program. I think it was awesome. I even contacted her after and was like, is there a part 2? I want to know about part 2. Like, how would you extend this? So thank you so much, Rachel. I love what you're putting out there, and I can't wait to continue to work with you, and learn from you. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye.